Hello everybody, welcome to Haiku Talk. I'm your host, Moeller-Gaa, your friendly neighborhood haiku poet. And today we're going to be taking a look at a poem from the winter 2021 issue of Akitsu Quarterly from poet Hifsa Ashraf, Fireside Meditation. Wonderful poem for a cold winter's day here in the Midwest and other parts of the world. So sit back, grab a beverage, and let's get to some haiku. Welcome back. As I said, today, it is a cold winter day here where I am in St. Louis. We're in the midst of our first real winter storm that's hit us this year with potential of up to 8 inches of snow. We'll see. It's definitely been cold and windy and icy. And that's why this poem really sticks out for me today. Again, it's from Hifsa Ashraf, wonderful poet from Pakistan. And the poem goes like this. Fireside Meditation. Shifting my thoughts from woods to ashes. Fireside Meditation. Shifting my thoughts from woods to ashes. Great piece. Really great piece. And I so wish I had a fireplace in my apartment here, but I don't. But in my head, Hifsa has taken me to one, and I am definitely bundled up, cozied up with a nice beverage, and I am gazing into that fire and meditating, just as what's presented here. And that's the wonderful thing about these poems, is they do take you to a specific place and a specific point in time, and then they unfold in real time. And because the poems are meant to be completed by the reader, it relies on me entering into that moment. It relies on you for entering into that moment and taking all of your life history with you, everything you know about life and all that you've experienced, to fill out the moment that's presented in front of you in all the details that come to mind, and to make it happen, and you live in that moment. It's such a wonderful gift. These poems are such wonderful gifts. And thank you very much, Hifsa, for this one, and Akitsu Quarterly for putting this out. Now, the poem, Fireside Meditation, does follow the format of the fragment and the phrase. In this case, line 1 is the fragment of Fireside Meditation. And the phrase is shifting my thoughts from woods to ashes. Now, haiku are all about juxtapositions. So if you take each one of those pieces by themselves, they are nice sections. So the line of Fireside Meditation is a very nice line. And the phrase of shifting my thoughts from woods to ashes is also a very nice phrase. And by themselves, they work. They stand alone. But when you juxtapose those two things together, that's when the magic happens. And if you're writing haiku or trying to write haiku and you're not using juxtapositions, you're not gonna be able to find that tension, that thing that makes things pop, just like a pop in the fireplace. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this line by line, as we do, and we'll get into the details of why this works and how it's put together. So again, we'll start with line 1, which is the fragment. Fireside Meditation. Really nice line. Fireside Meditation. 2 words. Each word has a couple syllables in it, And the tone of each word is a meditation. They are cool words. They are words that don't call you to action, but they more call you to settle in. And so that first line not only sets the tone for what comes next. So it doesn't just pique your interest, but it really sets a mood and sets a tone. Not all first lines have to do that. Not all first lines are required to do that. In this case, the first line does just that. It sets the tone. Fireside meditation. And so, boy, I mean, when you hear the word fireside, your mind really goes someplace specific. When you hear fireside paired with meditation, that suggestive language, that suggestive haiku language really gets your mind working, really places you in a spot, really puts you someplace specific in your own life. And, for me, I'm definitely sitting at a campfire, or I'm also sitting at a fireplace in a home. Things are quiet. The only thing you can hear is just the sound of the fire. Since this is winter, dead of winter here, and as I talked about in episode 12, the season you're in physically, that you, the reader, are physically sitting in, can really color the poems that you read. I'm also imagining it being very cold outside. I can hear wind, I can hear sleet, I can just feel that cold at the periphery of the glow of the fire. And there I am sitting there, in a meditative pose, and I'm very calm, and I'm very, very much engaged with this first line. And so, I almost don't even need to go anywhere else. I'm pretty happy and cozy in the spot that I'm in. But line 2 gives us a little bit more details about the scene. So line 2 is shifting my thoughts. Shifting my thoughts. And this is how the poem pulls you into the present moment and shows you that it's a moment that's unfolding in real time. The first line, fireside meditation, that can happen anytime. It's not linked to a specific moment. But now that you have that setting in place, line 2 engages the moment. It engages the unfolding of something that's happening that you now are engaged with. And it's allowing this fireside meditation to pull you into a meditation that's happening now. And in that meditation, there's a shifting of thoughts. Shifting my thoughts. That's what's happening. And it pivots us to the last line where we're going to get information about what those thoughts are. And that's where I am as a reader right now. Now I want to know. So I'm in a very happy spot with the first line. The second line indicates that, something's going on. My thoughts are shifting. Now what are they shifting between? And Hifsa says, from woods to ashes. From woods to ashes. What a great line. It's so great because it's, again, the suggestive language of haiku. It just allows you to really, you allows that scene to really grow and resonate in many ways. The initial entry-level way would be, yes, the fire now that was once wood is now crumbling into ashes. And if that's, so that shift, it's not just a mental shift, it's actually, your thoughts shift along with the way that the fire is moving. It's moving, it too has moved from woods to ashes, which then implies a passage of time. It implies that this meditation has gone on for a while, that you've been sitting in front of this fire when it started to now when it's just ashes, which is amazing to think about. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words, can capture that much time in a moment. And what's nice too here is that the thoughts of woods to ashes could be very literal in what happens to the fire, but could be more than that. What does it mean to have thoughts of woods What are woods? Well, woods are places where things grow, full of life. Things live there. Nature happens there. All sorts of things happen in the woods. And so you go from this lively place to ashes, the ruin, the aftermath, the death, the transformation from something living to something dead. And that has a lot of possibilities there as well, which is why this poem is so wonderful. So it could be thinking about woods, thinking about good times in life, thinking about happy moments, thinking about lively moments, thinking about moments of togetherness, thinking about times where things were strong, things were healthy. And then that shifts to ashes in this meditation. And so then that shifts to darker things, things falling apart, times that are more difficult, times that where things didn't work out as planned. And we all know those kinds of thoughts are. We all have had those types of thoughts that might have kept you up awake at night, might eat at you during the day, or they might really be with you at times when you have a moment to really reflect on the transition of aspects of life, of aspects of relationships. Maybe it's even an internal relationship, where you have been one in one thing, strong, woods, healthy, broad, and then have crumbled or transitioned into ashes. And not that ashes has to be a final thing, because again, with suggestive language, my mind, out of what rises out of ashes is a phoenix rises out of ashes. Now, nowhere in this poem is there a phoenix mentioned, but because of my association with the word ashes and my background and the stories that I've read and everything that I've experienced in life, that possibility pops into my head is, well, okay, from woods to ashes. And then I continue on outside the poem, ashes rising of a phoenix. And those types of things are not like the phoenix, for example, or a personal thing that I might be dealing with, or a story that's unique to me, are things that aren't found specifically in the poem. But because the poem is created and crafted in such a beautiful, wonderful way, and doing what haiku does so well, this is why it's a form, is that I get to enter into that moment with the details, the sparse details that this poet has given me, and fill it in with my life. And it resonates for me. And it works, and it's deeply profound. And hopefully when you see this poem, that it takes you someplace specific too. And it takes you someplace, of any type of depth or meaning, or the simple enjoyment of sitting by a fire and watching it break down and turn into ashes. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much more elemental than that. I mean, that is essentially one of the things that makes us different from any other species on the planet, sitting around meditating by the fire that we've created. And, from that fire pit, that fire is where stories have arisen, poems have been told, tales have been told, wisdom is passed on. And so it gets at that elemental aspect of humanity. So lots going on in this poem for me. Hopefully it resonates well for you. Again, Hifsa Ashraf Akitsu Quartery, Winter 2021. And that wraps up this episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. Like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell to get notified when new issues or new episodes come about. And thank you very much for tuning in and listening. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time.